Today we're going to talk about how to make something incredible happen. It could be something incredible for your life, for other people's lives, for any of that. And to start us off, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about why it's significant. I have just come in from yet another day of working on the bus that's going to drive us through 48 of the continental states over the next year. And man, there are some days that it's just bleak. I'm sore. I'm working on it most of the time by myself. Well, not a lot of time by myself. It's a lonely thing, right? And it makes me look back a bit, which I was reflecting a bit today, which is why I'm going to tell you about sort of the nuances behind how you make something wonderful or something really incredible happen. And when I say something wonderful or something incredible, what I mean is something that's like, it causes ripples. It changes people's lives around you, and certainly yours yourself. And I think where we have to start when talking about it is we need to go back to the definition of passion. I think that's what we're going to talk about. I've heard English has a few words that don't necessarily make sense. Like, we don't have better examples for them. For example, there's love, right? I could love my parents like I love my husband or wife, like I love my chocolate. It's all the same word, but those are like very different love feelings, right? Other languages have some better use cases for them. I think passion is one of those bastardized words because its root doesn't mean how we treat it. How we usually treat it is, I'm very passionate about this chocolate, right? Well, would you suffer for the chocolate, right? Probably not. I mean, maybe, in which case, yeah, you are passionate about it. But its root is to suffer. So something that you love or you enjoy to such a degree that you're willing to suffer for it. And I think if I can get a little bit esoteric for a moment before I dig into the story, sort of like lay this groundwork, is that you sort of have to sacrifice, like choose the things that you're going to sacrifice in order to earn them. And that's what makes something wonderful or tremendous happen. So I'll tell you the story. For a very long time, I had always been, wanting to do something that felt exciting, that had a purpose, and made me reach out to my full potential. And I couldn't really figure out what that was for a long time, even though I was kind of doing it without really realizing it, which was, sort of community and bringing people together and excited and stuff like that. And for me, myself, when I started, say, for example, on Skool, originally, my purpose wasn't to make money. It still really isn't, right? I earn the money to do this stuff. And I think that's why it's had such waves. When I was first beginning and I had won the school games, I spent all of my winnings from that to get a mansion for all the school games winners, which hadn't been done before, all together in a place so that we could spend time before and after the event. It kind of made sense to me. And when I asked others, they were like, yeah. So as just another winner, I was like, hey guys, why don't we go ahead and do this? And everyone was excited. I was nervous for a while to reach out to them because I was like, oh shit, they're just going to be like, who the hell is this guy, right? They're these winners, right? No, they were people just like me, and they were really, really happy, all of them, that I reached out. They had the same nervousness, which happens so often. And so I broke the ice. I spent the rest of the money that I had made, which I accidentally told my dad, and he was like, what the fuck is the matter? This is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. So he had an opinion about that. It makes sense on paper, right? You just finally had your first success online. Why would you go and blow it? Well, I did. I spent all of it on getting a mansion for a few days. And just to see who would show up, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to buy it and then see if I can sell positions in it to help cover the cost, which we just about covered, pretty close to it. But I didn't know that when I was started and booking the thing. Then, I without asking, I put together a school drip, so another school merch store, because then, and even kind of still, the school merch is a little bit, Sam likes it a very particular way. So I was like, no, we're going to do this. We're going to do this in a way that I think honors the brand a bit more. And so I went ham. Of course, it was my direction with it. And so we bought a bunch of this stuff and gave it away to the people there at the event, and Alex and Sam and everyone. And it put a lot of smiles on faces. And I also got this really nice speaker that I hadn't given myself permission to before, because I was asking people, like, how are these events usually? This was the third month. I won on the third month. And everyone was like, here's what did well, here's what went okay. And there was no music. The intermissions kind of sucked ass. So I brought this giant JBL speaker. I actually have it over here. And let me show you. It's actually kind of cool. So I brought this speaker. This bad boy. And I put the music on during the intermission. No one asked me. I didn't ask anyone. And I remember Sam, the CEO of Skool, sitting in the corner of the room. He has this thing where when he'll stand and he's thinking, he'll just rub the shit out of a certain part of his face. And during this time, it was, now I think he's doing his mustache. Before it was he would rub his chin to the point where the hairs would disappear. That's how much. And so he was doing that, and he was clearly in thought, which was not a very, not a common thing to do just in a random intermission. He usually only does that when he's really chewing on something. And later I would find that, when I was there in the office, during the subsequent weeks after the school games, he said something along the lines of you're really good at this school thing, this event thing, I think is what he said. Fun. You're really good at this fun thing. I think it'd be cool if you kept doing that. What do you think? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. That sounds great. Up until that point, of course, I had spent all that. I hadn't asked for anything. I didn't want anything. This was just fun for me. This is what I wanted to do. I was willing to sacrifice to see it done the way I thought it should, right? If you've ever competed in a competition like the school games, there's so much that you have to sacrifice to do it. I lost a relationship during this time because it was just so overwhelming, and it demands so much focus and attention. And so to have so many people sacrifice so much, it really should be something tremendous. And so that's what I became, was the experience host, to make sure the experience was good. It was in a fun, controlled environment that made it feel like a celebration. And I would later find out, because I'm not the best strategizer I just do stuff that I love. It's a blessing and a curse, I guess. But I would later hear of often if you're trying to strategize to work with people that are at a high level, you usually just try and give them free value and then hope that something comes of it and they're grateful for it, right? That's one angle for it, but for me, I don't think it could ever not be natural. So it made sense that community and experiences and having fun and wearing colors and giving everyone hugs, which was not commonplace at this time. God, in the early games, oh man, none of the guys were. It was an event hosted by introverts, so it had some edges to be smoothed out. So I get why Sam would approach me, but I can tell you, if I don't think that position would have existed if I didn't venture out and do this. And the same thing happened later with the world tour. When walking away from school full time and hosting the games, when it went to quarterly, I started doing this tour, but no one asked me. I just said I'm going to do it and visit all 7 continents and host these events everywhere. And it was making such an impact that by month 6, it became sponsored by Skool because it was making such an impact. It was incredible. again, I didn't ask for it. I just did it because I was so passionate about that thing. I love, like, all I spend my money on is my personal tech or my team's tech and travel. And like this stuff is from Etsy and Amazon. It just makes me happy. And hopefully it's cotton. This is not, but hopefully it is. And so if we fast forward after that, I'm now in a window where I spent on the world tour, over $250,000 of my money to see that thing happen. And we did what we set out to do, which is hit all 7 continents. And alternatively, I could have gotten a house and purchased a new business, gotten a Ferrari and a half or something, right? Or maybe just a Ferrari, depending on how nice it was. But I opted to do this. I thought it was going to be the most fun. And the consequence of it was that then the events, like I could see them in front of me happen, like see how excited people were for me to come in and do this, even though they could do it without me, and sometimes they would, but to have that like energy it was as if a symbol or someone who had met the rest of everyone else was like, it just gave it this legitimacy that everyone could rally behind. And so I felt it was such a gift to be able to get that. And so if we fast forward, I could have at that point stopped, right? And yet we find ourselves here at the beginning, halfway through the next year, basically having spent, by the time I'm done, 6 months buying and retrofitting a bus that is costing me well over $100,000. And unlike the world tour, which is like it was spread out over the year, this is like right now. So it's challenging for sure. And the reason why I say all of this is because it's not often that I have this nice timing where I can tell you about 2 of these situations that have happened when I joined Skool and made this, became the experience host there. And then, after winning the games, and then later when I would start the world tour and run that the first year. And now we're talking about the second year. And I don't know what the outcome of that is going to be. Will Skool sponsor it again? I don't know. Will I get some kind of like crazy job opportunity out of it? I don't know. I don't even know if I want one. I don't know what the outcome will be. I'm doing it because I can't imagine spending my life doing anything else but something that crazy, like buying a bus, fixing it. Like, I'm not an electrician, clearly, or a plumber or a woodworker, though if something breaks in my house, I will try and fix the lights or the furniture or something like that myself. So I have many of the tools, but I like physically working on things. But, it's nothing like this, like getting a 40-foot bus it's work. It is a lot of work. I'll see it through. I always do. And the reason why I say it and the reason why it's so special now is because for anyone watching this in the future who's able to look back at how was something incredible, like so wonderful, able to come from nothing, right? Well, this is what I can tell you is I don't know what will happen in the future, but what will happen in your future if you do these things will be pretty special. First, you have to find something that you're willing to sacrifice for. You have to pick something that is so great, so exciting, would be so wonderful, and that becomes your plan A with no plan B. You just go for it as if your whole being believes in it and that it will work and have the effects that you're hoping to have. That it will do those things. And maybe it already has. Like that's even the next level, right? Then you get a group of people around you that believe in that too. They could be team members. They may not be family members, and they may not be friends. Like, you may have to change your circles in order to find the group, but you need an environment that at least isn't pushing against the thing, because making something really amazing happen is already a feat in itself. You could afford every luxury of simplicity as possible. And the last thing I would say is probably the ability to focus on the positive. Kind of what I was talking about before, but this one, like, not just surrounding yourself with the right people in the right environment, but being able to keep visualizing your North Star, where it is you're going, what the result is going to be, what it looks like actually envisioning that thing, manifesting it. And if you can do those three things with something that you are that you know you're passionate about, then it will happen. It always does. And I'll talk about this in a later video, but I call this this measurement a manifestation delay. It's this period of time between when you decide that you want something to happen and it happens. That window of time, if you get really good at controlling yourself and your thoughts and keeping even when everything looks the bleakest, still lifting up others and yourself and continuing on. Fuck, I'm getting emotional thinking about it right now. It changes it causes everything. The ability to do that. And that's where I feel the best. So, in spite of how exhausted I am, how I haven't showered in 3 days, maybe it's 4 days, and how even though I got my nails done, they're falling off because it's so much work and I'm tired and I'm not stopping. It still feeds my soul. And I hope that if you haven't found the thing, you will. And if you have found the thing, this gives you the encouragement that you need to go on to the next day. I believe in what you're trying to do. It's going to be fucking awesome. All right. Well, have fun out there, make friends, and I will see you guys in the next one. Make something amazing.